follow my lead. We on the road to achieve
success and settle for less.
no need. If you could dream, you can achieve what you believe.
What's going on, YouTube fam? Coming at y'all doing another video. Today I'm gonna show y'all how to build big, huge biceps and triceps. 9 times out of 10, if you don't have big arms, it's because you're neglecting these 4 different exercises, or you don't know how to put them all together. So stick around, stay tuned, let's get into it. Alright guys, we're gonna start off with some stretches. It's probably the number one thing that you want to do when you start working out any muscle group. A lot of times people have injuries because they do not perform any stretches at all, not in the beginning or at the end. The ACSM recommends about 60 seconds of total stretching at the end of the workout. However, I recommend that you do 30 seconds in the beginning and 30 seconds at the end, just so that you can really warm those muscles up before you're about to engage in some resistance training. Primarily, you should do it when your body temperature is warm, but you know, doing 3 sets at 10 seconds is really not that bad on each arm. Today we're going to be doing some chin-up superset with preacher curls. We are doing 7 sets. That's right, 7 sets, not 3, not 4, but we're going up the sets all the way to 7. And for the chin-ups, we will be primarily aiming for about 8 to 10 reps. The preacher curls will be the same thing, 8 to 10 reps. The goal is to try to get at least 8 minimum. So if you fail at 6, then do a 10-second count and go again until you get to that 8 reps or 10. This is a very, very good combination, adding a compound superset with an isolation movement. Your growth will be like 10 times better doing it this way, as opposed to, okay, I'm gonna do chin-ups as my first exercise, and then I'm gonna do my preacher curl second, and then that's it. No, the best approach to that is to combine them both. Your results will be amazing, trust me when I tell you. Now the chin-ups, they primarily build the overall mass in your biceps. They build the whole bicep, so that's not really targeting any particular area in your biceps. It's just the whole thing. Preacher curls, on the other hand, they primarily work the lower portion of your biceps, and that's really important for people who have short insertions and long muscle bellies or full muscle bellies like myself. If you don't, then it's still fine. You can still get away with doing that particular exercise. It's just, it really is able to stand out for people who have full muscle bellies and short insertions. And if you don't know whether you have short insertions or long insertions, basically measure that gap that's between your biceps and your elbow, and that will, if you can fit like 2 or 3 fingers in there, then you have long insertions. If you can fit like 1 or can't fit any fingers in there, you have short insertions. So both have advantages. I mean, someone who has short insertions can obviously make their arms bigger because there's more muscle to build, but someone who has long insertions, they can build a lot better peaks. So if you look at somebody like Albert Beckles, he was a bodybuilder who had excellent peaks, but he really didn't have the fullness of someone like Sergio Oliva. But both of them still had good arms. It's just they were different. I mean, this is something that's kind of determined from a genetic standpoint, so it's not anything that you can really change, but you can definitely build upon whatever you're blessed with. Now the core focus on this is, again, to really add a lot of mass to your arms and to try to sculpt them at the same time, which is a lot of people try to separate them. You can certainly separate them, but if your aim is to try to make your arms bigger, you need a lot of mass first. If you're trying to do a whole bunch of isolation movements and you lack a lot of mass, then it's going to be very hard to add shape to something that has no mass there. So isolation will primarily, kind of shape the muscle within reason anyway. I mean, is really, you can't change. That's also like another genetic thing. You really can't change the shape too much, but isolation movements will definitely help you to add a little bit of size to that shape, if that makes sense. Meanwhile, an exercise like the chin-ups will add plenty of mass to your biceps. I would say that chin-ups are to biceps what dips are to triceps. There's pretty much no other exercise, and I'm talking about even the barbell bicep curl, that can build a thicker, better biceps than the chin-ups. So that really should be your main focus point on trying to get stronger with your chin-ups. Add some weight to your chin-ups. You can superset this with any other bicep isolation movement if you want to. I chose to do preacher curls, but you can do standing dumbbell curls. You can do concentration curls. Yeah, you can do concentration curls with it. The choice is yours. You can even do hammer curls with it. It's perfectly fine. But if you really want to add a lot more, then focus on trying to do compound with isolation, and try to do enough sets too. Like 2 or 3 sets is fine, but try to go for a little bit more than that. Honestly, the muscle being built, like I said in my last video, is not determined by how many exercises that you do, because all exercises are not created equal, but it's definitely going to be determined by the kind of exercises that you do and the intensity that you do it at. So always remember that isolation movements can be an excellent thing, especially if you already have a lot of mass in your arms. But if you lack a lot of mass, then you might need to focus on a lot more compound movements in order to really beef them up to 19s, 20s, 18s, whatever. Next here we have the dumbbell alternating standing curl. I've been doing this exercise since I was 7 years old. Shouts out to my dad. He put me on when I was very, very early in age. So me and my brother, actually, I was 7, he was 9. We had 5 and 10 pound dumbbells, and the very first exercise that we learned was the dumbbell alternating curl and the dumbbell kickbacks for the triceps. And I just fell in love with arms. Everything was arms. So I kind of grew into this whole thing. But for this exercise, we're doing 7 sets, ranging between, I believe, 16 reps and 20 reps. Again, like I said, if you fail at 16, if you can't get to 16, then count 10 seconds and then go again until you can get to that 16. The last 2 sets, you do want to try to go up in weight a little bit heavier. Try to pick a weight that's extremely challenging, one that you could probably only get like 12 or 14 in, with the intent to actually fail and then go again with the same weight. I don't really do a lot of drop sets, but I just keep the weight the same, count 10 seconds and go again. So that's an excellent variation that you can add to your routine. This is one of those exercises that you just cannot leave out. In my opinion, this is even better than the barbell bicep curls, because you can really supinate your arms the way I'm doing, and you really want to aim to try to turn your arms, your wrist outward when you're doing it, not just in a straight supinated motion, but really twist it outward so that you can actually contract your biceps while you're doing it, because that's really the only determining factor for building muscle at all anyway, is stretching and contraction. I don't really, like I said, do a lot of negative work. That should probably only wake up about 10% of your routine, but majority of it should be actually lifting. If you're doing too much negative work, you'll get a lot of muscle damage, because that's primarily, you get a lot more muscle damage through negative work than you do the concentric portion, but you're not lifting overall. You're not lifting more weight than someone who's actually not doing as many negatives. So you take, for example, someone who is performing the barbell curl with 135 pounds, and they're doing negatives, and they do that for 5 reps, in 60 seconds. And then you have another person who does 135 pound barbell curls, and they do 10 regular reps in 60 seconds. The person who did 10 reps in 60 seconds did overall more work than the person who did 135 for 5 negatives in 60 seconds. They actually doubled the workload that they did. The person who did negatives performed about 675 pounds. Meanwhile, the person who did 10 reps did 1,350 pounds in 60 seconds. That's double the workload. So the workload is extremely important. As you can see, we're jumping right into the dips. This is the only thing that I performed for my triceps. There really wasn't any need to do anything else. No tricep extensions, no kickbacks, no skull crushers, nothing else like that. Just good old-fashioned dips. That's all you need. Again, like I said before, if you're trying to add mass to your arms, you really want to try to go for them compound movements. This will explode your triceps like nothing else. This and like barbell bench is like perfect. You can start to add in things like the tricep kickbacks and all of that kind of stuff once you have enough mass on, but initially you want to focus on doing this exercise. Now, I did 7 sets on this, ranging all the way from body weight to 100 pounds. Now, I kind of failed at this. Did 5 reps on the first one, and then I had to count 10 seconds off. I tried to go for some more, but I failed after the first one. But it's all good, you know. I went all in. I left everything on the table. But total, this is my arm routine. Doesn't really take a whole lot. 4 exercises. Try it out. As always, please like, comment, share, do all of that good stuff for the video. I'm gonna still keep bringing some more content to y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Take it easy. Peace.